Welcome back, everybody. This is Sports Rehab, the place where all the sports addicts go. I'm your host, V-Dub, Vince Wallace. I'm here with my boy JC, Jimmy Clark, sports genius.
Yes.
The guy who knows everything about the world of sport. And today we're going to be talking about a few things, namely the World Series.
Oh, man.
As always, Jimmy, I always got to check something whenever I do this. Let me go check something real quick.
All right.
Peek over here. Okay, everything looks good.
All right.
All right, so, Jimmy, did you watch it?
I went back and watched it.
You went back and watched it. I mean, the game was, and to let you guys know, Jimmy and I texted you yesterday, last night, while the game was going on, letting him know it was going to be a treat to watch. Now, I don't know after he watched it what his feelings are, but you tell me, Jimmy, good game?
Top 5 baseball game I've ever watched.
Top 5 you've ever watched.
And I've witnessed firsthand a Nolan Ryan no-hitter.
Really?
Yes.
So this goes in the conversation.
Just as far as being fun to watch, when you don't have any skin in the game, you're just watching the game for the game's sake. The lead change after lead change. Yeah, you're sitting here looking at, obviously, the two best teams in Major League Baseball all throughout the year. Two best records. Well, did Cleveland pass them?
I'm not sure if Cleveland did or not, but Cleveland went on that streak.
Yeah.
But I do believe you're right about us having the two best teams in baseball in the championship game.
You got things that you couldn't believe weren't happening that turned around, and you got things that you can't believe that were happening that turned around. Do we want to just dive into this game, or we want to lay it out? What are we doing?
I'm like this right here, Jimmy. We started a little bit late today.
Yeah.
So let's just dive into the world of sport.
Let's do it.
We'll touch a little bit on the NFL, of course, talk a little bit of basketball if we have time. Yeah. But I think the start of the show has to be the World Series and what we saw last night.
Yeah. So, I think the most amazing part of all of this was, for those of you who don't know, the Dodgers were 98-0 this season, going into the final inning with a lead. Yes,
if they go into the ninth, it's usually church. There's no coming back on the Dodgers in the ninth inning because their closer, Jansen has, I think, one blown save all year.
Right.
So this guy has been lights out. He's been absolutely dominant. Nobody's hitting off of him. And the crazy thing is, in the eighth inning, I came into the game just a little bit late.
Okay.
But in the eighth inning is when all the drama started.
Yes.
And, I mean, it was drama after drama post-eighth inning.
Yes.
And in the eighth inning, we got to see Jansen come up to the mound, and he gives up a single in the eighth, so he gives up a run.
Right.
I don't think it was credited to him, but
no, it wasn't on him. But
right. He gave up the run, and then that set the stage for a dramatic ninth.
Yes.
At this point, they were up 3-2 going into the ninth. This guy is he's as shut down as you can find from the reliever spot in baseball. He is the best closer in baseball. Would you agree?
Yeah. So whatever the Rangers had, the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So he gets to the ninth inning. And, I mean, this is where all the real drama started, people. I mean, and it was exciting. Every pitch. This is why this is the fun of baseball.
Yeah.
This is the fun of baseball because baseball has extended dramatic moments.
Yes.
In basketball, we pass the ball, quick shot, wham, it's over. Right. But, I mean, baseball can have those dramatic moments that go on for 5, 6, 7 minutes.
I know.
It's the best thing about baseball and golf.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And they also are the two sports, to me, that you get to watch great players crumble under pressure.
Right.
You get to see them get unnerved in baseball. You get to see, and I know I'm skipping to the end, but Brandon McCarthy, when he came in, you knew it was out, right?
Right. First off, when is the last time you heard the name Brandon McCarthy?
I didn't even know
he pitched for I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking, Brandon McCarthy, he pitched from like 01 to 09.
Yeah.
No. That cat is in the league in 2017.
And this is a former Texas Ranger.
Oh.
Right.
Always had blisters on his finger. He could never pitch for us.
Dude, and I think we ended up trading him for something that was actually pretty decent.
Let's see. So I'd have to look it up. It's been so long ago. That's the problem. I
didn't know he was still in the majors. No. But when you saw him coming in,
done.
Like, what?
Done.
Okay, yeah. Well, they gave it a good run.
But they were on their ninth pitcher.
Yes.
This also, you talk about this extended dramatic moment.
Right.
The greatness and the worst part of baseball is that because if you're a fan of the other team and you're just watching this, you know how they talk about if you ever get in a car accident, everything slows down, and you can't get through the pain fast enough? That's what this kept doing on both sides of the equation last night.
It was absolutely riveting baseball.
Yes.
I mean, it was the night of dramatic swings.
Uh-huh.
And when I say dramatic swings, I mean swings backward and forward from team to team, and with each swing of the bat.
Yeah.
Last night had the most home runs in World Series history.
Yep, had 8 of them.
8 home runs.
Right.
And it seemed like all of them happened at the tail end of the game.
Right. And the Dodgers did not have a hit that wasn't a home run before the eighth inning.
I mean, it was crazy.
Verlander shut them down.
And Verlander pitched great. And I know we're talking as if everybody watched the game.
Yes.
Right now. Should I back up? And
let's
Okay, I'm going to reset it for you guys. So Verlander starts.
Yes.
I mean, he only gives up 2 hits.
Right. Both home runs.
Both home runs.
Right.
So Verlander gives up 2 hits, both home runs. The score is 3-1 going into the 8th. In the 8th, Jansen gives up a run, 3-2. Then the 9th comes. That's when the drama starts. And Jansen gives up a home run to Gonzalez.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you're sitting there watching the game, and you're watching all hell break loose because Jansen doesn't give up.
This hasn't happened.
Inning home runs.
Right. In all of 2017, this did not happen.
So now the score is tied 3-3. We're going to extras. We go to extras. Altuve hits a home run.
Who has been, through the first 2 games, I don't know if he's nervous. That cat was missing the ball by a mile.
Right.
And, boy, he picked a time to connect.
But we all know he's an all-star, probably a future Hall of Famer if he stays the course, right?
Dude, he is, to me, another version of Ichiro. The guy just gets tons of hits, but he's Ichiro with power.
Right.
And this is a 5'6" listed guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a small cat.
And if he keeps it up, like I say, we're talking Hall of Fame here.
Yeah,
right?
and it's so, when you read about him, they say he is a baseball savant, studies the game constantly, watches film on pitchers constantly.
Sounds like Ichiro.
Exactly.
Right.
What you want from your best player. Talent gets you so far.
Hard work.
Determination and hard work paired with amazing talent, that's another level of player. The closest thing we have here probably is your Beltre.
Right.
And
we know how great Beltre is. I mean,
that's Hall of Fame level. So
Hall of Fame level, absolutely. And I think Altuve could be just that.
He's on that road. I hope he stays healthy.
Even if he loses power, I still believe he'll be a very effective hitter late in his career.
Of course.
And if he starts to juicing, who knows?
He might even grow.
Okay, so Altuve hits a home run in the 10th, but then they weren't done.
No.
Correa comes in right behind him and hits another home run to stake Houston to a 5-3 lead.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, that's it.
Done.
They've done it. I mean, this is an amazing game. I've enjoyed it. It's gone 10 innings. And so we move to the bottom of the 10th.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom of the 10th. Bottom of the 10th, scores 5-4. Joshua Puig steps to the plate.
Takes it out.
Lays his back down on the ground.
Oh, my gosh.
What were your thoughts on that when you saw it?
So, when Puig came in the league, 3-4 years ago?
Has it been that long?
No, it's been 3? Yeah, I think it was 2011 or 12.
Wow.
And
time flies.
He came in on fire.
It's like he hit 7 home runs in his first 5 games or something like that.
It was this guy that was the king of the bat flip, too. Like, nobody liked him on any other team because you just don't do that.
When you see him, and I'm going to make this comparison because I was looking at the game last night, and I was like, he looks like he's built like Bo Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's built like Bo Jackson. If you guys have seen Bo Jackson, you know what I mean when I say he's built like a tank.
Yes.
This guy is built like Bo Jackson.
Yes.
And, I mean, he's got power for days.
Oh, my gosh. When he connects, it's never a question if it's out.
Right.
It's not those long high carries. It's a rocket that's very rarely starts its down descent.
And it's like you can hear it off the crack of the back. Oh, yeah, that's gone.
That's gone.
Pop. Oh,
yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. You don't even have to think twice about it.
Right.
So he hits a home run, and then we've got an amazing play at the plate.
Yeah.
And from the outfield, was it Hernandez? Hernandez throws from the outfield. I mean, Forsythe?
This is the downside of not being
Forrester?
Yes.
Forrester?
Yeah.
Okay, so Forrester's coming around third.
Yes.
And, I mean, it's going to be a dramatic play at the plate. The throw is pretty much on the money. And he just barely sneaks by him to get the tag, to tie the ball up. I mean, to get the run, to tie it up 5-5.
Yeah.
All drama, people.
Yes.
All drama. And you're sitting up there going, no way.
Yeah. And it's not happening.
Yeah, and I don't know. Do you have a dog in this race? I mean, are you cheering for anybody in particular?
You know, I'm not really, because as a Rangers fan, I can't cheer for the Astros, even though I love Texas teams to do well. But I can't root for the freaking Dodgers.
I can't root for the Dodgers.
It's L.A.
Yeah, it's high payroll, all of that. I have a sentimental. I have three things. The reason I'll root for Houston in this series, and I understand as a Rangers fan that'd be like me rooting for the Redskins in the championship game. But I will root for Houston in this game for three reasons. Number one, Nolan Ryan's there.
Yeah,
and I am a Nolan fan.
No doubt.
Okay. Number two, Hurricane Harvey just ripped the city apart. I would like to see him have something to celebrate down there. And then number three, if you remember, I picked Houston to win it all.
You did.
So I got three reasons that I'm cheering for Houston, because it'll make me look just a little bit smarter in Jimmy's eyes. And I do what I can so I look a little smarter in Jimmy's eyes. All right, so now we're at 5-5, Jimmy.
Right.
5-5.
Starting all over, bonus baseball.
Yeah, but we're in extras, and we're enjoying extras.
Yes.
Because each extra inning has brought us something new each and every time. I mean, when we're talking about night of crazy swings, this is the definition of that. So 11th inning comes, top of the 11th, George Springer.
Yeah. George
Springer, well, let's back up a little bit. Brandon McCarthy's in the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
When you
Keep going. I'm looking up some Brandon McCarthy stuff real quick. Go ahead.
Saw Brandon McCarthy, and I actually think he had a pretty decent season for him this year, but I think it was early on, and I don't think he was pitching late.
I knew nothing of him pitching in the second half of the season.
Right, and I don't believe he did. I think he was out the second half, but I think the first half of the season, I think he actually was performing fairly decent. But when he came in the game, if you're a Rangers fan, then you knew the game was over with.
Right.
There was no chance Brandon McCarthy was going to get out of the inning without giving up some runs. I mean, we've seen him pitch. We knew what was going to happen. The LA Dodgers did not, and they had to pay for it. They were completely out of pitch. And you got to look at it this way too. This was their last option.
Right.
They were out. Right. It was pretty much if you ever played playground basketball, when you're picking teams, the last guy that gets picked, and you're like, okay, come on, Fred.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it was. It wasn't a matter of we have nowhere else to turn in this situation.
Right.
We've got to give this guy the ball, and we're going to cross our fingers.
Right.
Well, as a Ranger fan, you know, Jimmy, what was going to happen.
Oh, no doubt.
Tell them what happened, Jimmy.
Well, it's down the middle. It's, no movement. And so Springer gets a pitch he loves. And, again, Springer had a horrible first game one.
Yes.
So we all know everybody is quick to react with overzealous and extreme statements. The Houston papers after game one, should we bench Altuve? Should we bench Springer?
Right.
No!
You're talking guys that have carried you all season long, and you want to put them on the bench. Yeah, that's crazy.
Springer, who really has not made good contact the first two games, just launches one.
Hit it. I mean, it was a meatball across the plate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. 88 miles an hour, no movement. I mean, that's batting practice. That's batting practice for the major leagues. So
but he hit it.
Oh, and he crushed it.
And it was gone.
And Springer's one of those guys that he's going to give you all-around good batting, on a long enough time frame. And, again, he's not Puig power. It's not the same. But, man, when he connected on that, it was just gone. You
knew it. You knew it because he got all of it.
Exactly.
He got all of it. I mean,
when they show the replay, it's 4 inches down from the tip of the bat and right in the middle of the bat. So,
and if this were a quality pitcher, you may say, man, he had to be paid off. That's
right.
That's where.
But no, it's Brandon McCarthy.
Yeah, it's Brandon McCarthy. So you kind of
came into the league in 2005.
Brandon McCarthy did
in 2005.
He's had a pretty long career.
He's you know what? He somehow has been able to stay around. And the significance, we got him because he was the part of the trade that we finally broke up DVD. John Danks was the trade that we gave up. Remember John
Danks? Yeah.
Dustin Diamond.
Yeah.
All right. Justin. Not Dustin Diamond. That was Screech.
That was Screech.
Yeah. It was Diamond. And
DVD.
It was DVD. And Edinson Volquez.
Edinson Volquez. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
John Diamond. It was
John Diamond?
James.
Right. Neil Diamond. We'll
yeah,
go with
it's Neil Diamond. Yeah.
Okay. But in the end, Brandon McCarthy comes in. Springer knocks it out of the park. They're up 7-5. The drama really wasn't over there because in the bottom of the 11th, they actually hit another home run that the Dodgers did to kind of close the gap where it was a one-run game with Puig, who we just described as the second coming to Bo Jackson, at the plate. But, I mean, it was a low 94-mile-per-hour fastball that it might have been 98. I can't remember now. It was 94 or 98.
That at bat, Puig's at bat, he gets down 0-2 on the first two pitches. Then he's fighting off everything and works a full count. Man, it is very difficult to start taking pitches when you're down 0-2 and there ain't nobody up to bat after me. I'm it. So it was a pretty impressive at bat, but yeah, finally he missed the bat on that last one because it was a great pitch.
Very good
and it
pitch.
Got him to chase, and a great ending to a great ball game.
I mean, if I had to rate the game, I would give it a 10.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like I said, from a watchability standpoint, this is the kind of game that, for people that don't like baseball, they get done after the game going, well, that was fun.
Right.
You know, and so to say, for me, a top 5 game, I've watched thousands of baseball games, and most are pretty boring. Let's be honest.
Unless you put a couple of dollars on
it. Right, yeah. Yeah. Or as Vince likes to say, if I needed to get rid of some money.
Yeah, there you go.
You know. But this was so enjoyable to watch on the biggest stage. It was a great game of baseball.
I enjoyed it. Now, a couple of questions for you, Jimmy. Now, the opposing pitcher to Verlander was Rich Hill.
Right. Now, took him out after 4.
What'd you think of that?
I couldn't believe it. You've given up 1 run. I mean, I know you gave up a hit, but you've given up 1 run and a walk. But I don't know that you can take your starter out after 4 innings. He looked great to me.
You know, I've heard something about the manager not liking them to go for the opposing team to see the pitcher the 3rd time through the lineup.
And we all know that the batting average goes up significantly that 3rd time through the order.
But the crazy thing is, Rich Hill has the lowest ERA the 3rd time during the lineup in baseball.
Right.
So you kind of say,
dude,
don't I roll the dice here?
All this, and even more, you follow that decision with, you're going to try to have Jensen get another 6-out save.
Yeah.
2 pitching decisions there from a managerial standpoint that you're going.
Well, you wouldn't have needed Jensen to do two innings if you had left Hill in.
Let Hill go to 5 or 6. You don't have to worry about that.
I saw nothing wrong with him doing that. He wasn't even in trouble, Jimmy.
I know. Like I said, he had walked somebody and gave up a hit, but that's why oh no, that wasn't even Jensen. There was another guy that came in before Jensen. And no, Hill did. It was that guy that gave up the walk and the hit.
Right, but Hill wasn't perfect. I'm not saying that.
No,
he wasn't as good as Verlander. Verlander was dominant last night.
And let's speak to that a little bit. There are times, and I'll use the Rangers getting Cliff Lee. You get that pitcher that takes you to that next level. The Astros have not lost a game in which Verlander pitched.
And I am absolutely shocked by it, to be honest, because Verlander was looking a little shaky to me this season early. And to be honest with you, I thought that he'd lost a little something on his fastball.
Well, and I think he has, but there's something to be said about being put in the right environment that gives you the attitude of winning.
Well, what Greg Maddux really taught us is that if you've got placement, sometimes the speed doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
And Verlander does have placement.
And like I said, I think that when you get these guys in a better attitude, because 1, you're in Detroit. 2, you're in Detroit. 3,
you're in Detroit.
That's a team that you knew early on was going to be rebuilding. They sold off everybody at the deadline. And so for Verlander, I think part of it is you back off a little with your velocity because you're quite frankly going, I don't know that I'm going to be playing here next year. I got to still bring something. And you knew the guy's 2 years removed from a Cy Young. The guy's getting another contract.
Is it just 2? I thought it was a little bit longer.
Is it more than that? It may be 3, but either way, the guy's getting one more contract.
Right. And if he keeps pitching like this,
and that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be big money.
Right.
Bring out the register.
And so, I mean, Verlander's a $20 million a year guy.
No doubt.
You know, I mean, and granted, Kershaw's 32.
Who we have to give a shout out to, Kershaw in Game 1. In Game 1, how dominant is dominant?
Just a beautiful gem. I mean, and it's
Highland Park's own, people.
Probably his best postseason outing, and he did it in Game 1 of the World Series.
Yes.
You know, he has struggled in the postseason for his career, and now you take this, and he goes up against Dallas Keuchel,
who's been good,
a shutdown guy. The first pitch he throws,
home run,
gone. That has to be so deflating, because he even after that pitched really, really well.
Right.
Folks, if you're not watching the World Series, you've missed 2 great games already. Don't miss. This is screaming to go 7.
And I think that it goes without saying that the Dodgers have probably the best pitching staff when it comes to playoff baseball.
No doubt. No doubt.
And you combine that with Houston, who probably has the most explosive offense in baseball.
Right.
This makes for an exciting series. I'm hoping that it goes 7. As a fan, I hope it goes 7.
My best comparison, I was thinking about this on the drive up here. My comparison is this is Sampras versus Agassi, because Sampras was the most dominant server of all time, and Agassi's the best return man of all time.
Yeah.
It's just fun to watch those 2 conflicting strategies go head to head, and we're seeing it work out perfect from a fan's perspective.
Right. Not to say that Houston doesn't have pitching, because they've got some pretty good pitchers on their side.
Keuchel,
as well.
Verlander, McHugh. I mean, they've got some great guys on the mound. So you don't win 100 games by not having good pitching.
Right.
So
Rangers, are you hearing that? You don't win 100 games. You don't make it to the World Series without, what was that you said, Jimmy?
Good pitching.
Good pitching. Amazing how it works.
It's weird how that seems to keep happening over and over, isn't it?
I just think that with the World Series, and I don't know how they're going to set these up, because I don't know if Kershaw is going to pitch Game 4 or Game 5.
Yeah, I know.
But he only threw like 88 pitches the other night.
Right.
And so he could go Game 4.
Right. But
if he goes 1, 4, and 7.
I know.
And you've got Verlander going 2 and 5 and available in the 7th.
Dude,
how do you beat that, man?
I know.
How do you beat that?
Yeah. So what? The game tomorrow night, they got Darvish going.
Darvish is going tomorrow night.
Right. So but you want to pick the Dodgers because good pitching always beats good hitting, right? That's
what they tell me. That's been the history of baseball.
This is going to be
the same as defense beats offense in football.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun World Series to continue watching. So if you're not watching, folks, you really should get on this. Even if you're not a baseball fan, the sheer drama.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it. Now, since we're on the subject of baseball,
okay,
there was some news that came down today. The news today: Joe Girardi.
So the Yankees said. This is the only way I can assume that the conversation went. Joe Girardi, we got to let you go. You didn't win the World Series with that team. You had an overachieving Yankees team.
Yes, you did.
They got hot at the right time.
And almost made the World Series.
They were one game away from the World Series. So, and you took a manager that has brought nothing but success. You can't put this on the bad choice in Game 1 of the series against Houston.
Oh, and not calling the
the challenge.
Yeah. Game 2.
Was that Game 2? I'm sorry. Okay.
Game 2, yeah.
So, but you said.
But he won the series. No, I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm talking about the challenge in the division round.
Was that in the division round? I'm sorry.
I don't think that was against Houston. Was that against Houston?
I thought that was against Houston.
Maybe it was. Okay, we'll go back and look.
But either way, you just said you got to the ALCS and one game away from getting to the World Series. You fire him after that. That tells me that, let's say he went into the World Series and lost in Game 7. You were going to fire him anyway.
I think he absolutely was gone anyway.
No matter what.
Even though Brian Cashman doesn't have a contract himself for next year.
Right.
I think he had already made the decision. I don't want to go any further with Joe Girardi.
And I don't get the line forms to the left for the clubs that will hire him.
Well, in Yankee land, because they're delusional.
Right.
He only won one World Series. That's the thinking in Yankee land.
Right.
6 playoff appearances, and we know that some of those teams were crap that he's managed.
Right.
We know that because you had a lot of talent when he first got there.
Sure.
When Jeter was good, when A-Rod was good.
Right.
But then you saw all that talent get old.
Right.
And there was nothing he could really do about it.
You still have CeCe on the team.
Yeah.
And he was one of your better pitchers.
Right. So there was a lack of talent, but then they're the Yankees, so they restock. That's all
Of course.
they do. They reload because they've got more money than God.
Right.
And so, one World Series, I think he was there, 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years, 1 World Series. That's a great run. 6 playoff appearances.
Right.
Great run for everybody else out there. But
so basically, if you don't win 2 to 3 World Series every 10 years, you're not good enough to coach here.
Right.
And so my question is what is out there that you're going to get that you think is going to be better than this?
And they don't have anyone right now in mind. That's the craziest part about it to me.
Yeah.
You let Joe Girardi go. Now, I'm sorry. If you tell me today, hey, we're letting Jason Garrett go because we're bringing in Bill Belichick, I'm good with that. No problem.
Right.
No problem there.
Yeah.
No problem.
Gruden said he wants to coach again, so.
No problem.
Right.
No problem. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. But when you tell me I'm letting go of Jason Garrett and I got nobody.
Right. Right.
Like Marvin Gaye said, the lonely hours. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't understand how you let. And Jason Garrett's not even a proven playoff coach.
Right.
We're talking about a proven playoff coach with a World Series. So that's probably not even a. Who could we say? That would be Andy Reid. Probably Andy Reid.
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. That'd be Mike Tomlin.
It'd be Mike Tomlin. You've been here a long time. You've won a title. Actually, Mike Tomlin's won 2.
Okay.
But still, similar comparison. Perennial playoff team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not good enough for us anymore.
Right. McCarthy. McCarthy's a good example.
Yeah, there you go.
McCarthy would probably be the most ideal one. We're about done here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. And and you're still in the playoffs 1 game away from the World Series.
Right.
That'd be the equivalent of Mike McCarthy getting to the NFC Championship game and losing it in the 4th quarter because someone breaks a long touchdown.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you got to go.
You don't know how to do this.
And hold on. And not a contemplation, not really talking about. We're talking days later.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this isn't 2 or 3 months after the season.
That pen was put to paper that night.
What do you think their issue was with Girardi?
I think it's genuinely what you're saying. It's the delusionment of Yankee land. It's you got to the ALCS. You had a lead in the ALCS and you did not win. You've besmirched the Yankee, the pinstripe.
It's crazy.
I think that's the old Steinbrenner mentality. And
can you define hubris for me there, Jimmy?
Yeah. Take anything in Lower Manhattan and go a little bit east and get to the Bronx, and that's going to be hubris right there.
It's right there. Okay.
It's when you're saying nothing is better than what you bring. We'd rather
right.
So again, on the drive here today, I'm thinking about what are your options? Because Dusty Baker's not going to go in there.
No, I wouldn't even want to deal with it if I'm Dusty Baker.
No. So
and the Yankees, I think what they're showing you though, if you are a top level manager, they don't value the manager at all. I mean, and Cashman is, if you guys didn't know, Cashman is like a slave to the stack. He believes in the analytics of it all.
No doubt.
And so a manager that goes with his gut, you can kind of rule him out. A manager that's got some skins on the wall, he's not going.
Right.
He's not going. So my question is, what are we left pursuing?
I'm convinced they're going to try to hire Watson from IBM, the computer.
That's about the only thing they could do.
That's all. I'm serious. Because they do not have a realistic expectation of a person.
Well, they took Joe Torre out of the building. I mean, they told him to go.
Yeah.
So if you're managing the Yankees, you pretty much know this has an expiration date on it.
Right. And that's fine if you're going out because it's 3 straight seasons of, 85 wins or less. I get that. I don't get 3 outs away from I mean 9 outs away from the World Series.
Yeah.
And I know that Game 7 it was 5-0 the Astros won. It wasn't competitive. But you were one game away.
Right.
When you narrow, baseball's great and terrible because they play 162 games. You don't win or lose a season in one game.
And you've got young talent with a guy you know that can get it done. And they've got young talent in Yankee land. They just decided, hey, we don't want this guy coaching the young talent. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. But like you say, he's going to go down a little bit further south, hook up with his boy Jeter.
Yeah.
And they'll probably field a competitive team here within the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I will not be shocked if that happens.
Yeah.
I will not. And he's going to get $10 million a year as a manager.
Oh,
because
no doubt. He's got skins on the wall.
Exactly. So it is crazy, crazy, crazy to think that they, like I said, I think that the sign-off on his firing was done the moment that ump called the final strike. I truly believe that.
Might have been about the 4th inning when they were down.
They were down,
yeah. It might have been a little sooner than that,
so,
Jay.
Again, it will further just boggle my mind of what the hell goes on in New York sports.
And if it's this hard to maintain a job in Yankee land, why has Cashman still got a job?
And has he ever noticed that he's part of the common denominator in all of this as well?
Yeah.
If he's mad about the way the team's built, what's the general manager's job?
So essentially what they're saying is, we believe there's World Series level, World Series winning talent on this team.
That's what he's saying.
And you're not getting
and you didn't get it out of him.
Now, I don't believe that. I guess time's going to tell, because I thought he did a great job with the Yankees this year. And I don't believe under any circumstance were they nowhere near the team that Houston was. I don't think they were near the team that Cleveland was.
No.
So I don't see how the expectation was going to be for them to get to the World Series. Now, like you said, we watch a lot of baseball around here.
Yeah.
So we have a good idea. We're talking American League teams.
Right.
The Rangers play them, and we're watching pretty often. And I'm telling you, the best 2 teams made it.
No doubt. No doubt. And that's what's
it.
great about this year. So, again, we got 5 games potentially to go, and I'm going to be tuned into every one of them.
Better believe it. Better believe it. I completely agree with you. Okay, so now that we've talked a little baseball, let's go to that other sport, the one in which this week the Dallas Cowboys take on the Washington Redskins.
And I don't know if I'm comfortable with the way you say that, but
it's the Dallas Cowboys take on the Washington Redskins.
Well, that's hurtful. That's awfully hurtful.
What's hurtful about it? It's a very factual statement there, Jimmy.
Okay.
I don't think I said anything wrong.
All right. Both teams are 3-3.
Yes, both teams are 3-3.
All right. Dallas actually is in a bit of a better position because Washington's lost both their division games so far, both to Philly.
I don't think that's why they're in a better position. I think it's because they've lost people. I mean,
dude,
your offensive line.
That offensive line.
How you gonna feel one,
dude,
bro?
I don't know, but
I mean, have they put in a call to you yet?
Dude, it's coming because they got the old cat from Jacksonville coming in. Dude, I would say this: at best, the Washington line is coming in at 50%. At best.
I will tell you, the NFC East is already won.
In Philly?
No. In Dallas. Stay with me here, Jimmy. Stay with me here. Okay.
Keep going. I'm going to make a call to my doctor.
Think I might need a little help.
Yeah.
This is what I honestly believe about the NFL. Injuries completely change the picture each and every year.
No doubt.
Injuries make the league is so close that injuries are usually the determining factor for who wins divisions and who wins championships.
Sure.
I will tell you that what we saw in Philly this past week, pretty much their season's done.
You think it doomed both teams?
I think that Jason Peters going down, we're talking about a Pro Bowl offensive
10
lineman.
times, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about, and that's the left tackle.
Yeah.
And when your left tackle goes out, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but we have no replacement for Tyron Smith here in Dallas. If he goes down, I mean, Dak, you better put your running shoes on.
Right.
And Kirk Cousins,
Trent Williams,
Carson Wentz, these guys don't own a pair of running shoes.
Right.
So what I'm telling you is you've got some serious problems in Philly.
Right.
And not just that, they also lost Jordan Hicks.
Yes.
And Jordan Hicks, to them, is what Sean Lee is to us.
I was going to say the same thing,
Just to kind of bring that into perspective for you guys, you just lost. Think about this. If Dallas lost Sean Lee and Tyron Smith in the same game.
A completely different team.
Completely different. That's what's going to happen to Philly.
Okay.
You watch what I tell you.
Okay.
I believe right now Philly just moved into being the third best team from here on out. They're the best right now by record. But I think from here on out, you're looking at the third best team in the NFC East.
Behind who?
Behind Dallas and behind Washington.
Okay.
Now, that's taking into account Washington's line is able to get healthy. Because right now, without Trent Williams, without Brandon Scherf, it's looking pretty hard.
Moses, I just remember his name's Moses. I mean, same thing.
Yeah.
They had 3 significant injuries.
Now, I don't know which one of those guys may be able to start because – and the big one to me, I know Trent Williams is the tackle, but the way they run their system in Washington, Sheriff, the guard –
right.
Because he's a very, very good pulling guard.
Exactly.
And if you guys look at who dominates on the offensive side of the ball for them, it's that little running back they got.
Chris Thompson.
And he gets out, and he's the primary blocker on a lot of those screen plays.
I know.
That Chris Thompson is taking it to the house. Right. He's the guy. So without him or some other athletic guard that can get out there and get in front of Chris Thompson and make those similar blocks,
right,
you've taken that out of their playbook.
Which is huge.
Because
for those of you who haven't watched, Chris Thompson is one of the most vital players in all the NFL on third down.
Yes.
Because if you're 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, he can turn the little swing or the dump pass into a first down.
Absolutely.
And that is crucial because if you don't have that kind of player, you're not moving the ball.
He's as valuable to their offense as Cole Beasley is to ours.
Absolutely.
If not more.
Oh, yeah.
This season, probably even
more, yeah.
Right. So I'm telling you, I think this vaults, and I know you're saying, Vince, you're a Cowboys fan. This is just the way you see things. I think it vaults Dallas because they are healthy into the number 1 spot in the NFC East. Now, think about this, you guys. Before this week, when Sean Lee was out, or Anthony Hitchens was out, what did our defense look like?
Well, that second level was horrendous.
Looked like Swiss cheese, right? And so they were just going through it. People don't realize how significant the injuries play in the game of football because some of the things you wanted to do, you can't do. We've been able to take, just by getting Sean Lee back, we've been able to take Smith out of the game.
Yeah.
And not overexpose him in passing situations like we had been. And he's extremely effective in spot duty, playing on 1st and 2nd downs.
Right.
And now we're playing to his strengths until he can get a little healthier where he can play on 3rd. But I think that one of the things that we've seen is that when injuries happen in the NFL, it changes what you're able to do.
Oh, no doubt.
And I think that's what we're going to see in Philly. I think with the loss of Jordan Hicks, and I believe Jordan Hicks is the 2nd most valuable player in their front 7 behind Fletcher.
Okay.
And so with the loss of him, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I don't see it from here on out.
Going to have to see how this plays out because the tough part is just the NFC East in general. The schedule is so tough.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm looking at, with the injuries, my prediction of, 5-11 for the Redskins is likely coming true now because, dude, they are going to struggle to win 2 more games. I truly believe this.
Now you have to remember, people, he's the master of doom and gloom.
But
do you think they're going to win this weekend?
No, not at all.
I'm so glad to hear you say
not at
that.
all.
We're in agreement for something we're on for the first time.
And it's because of the injuries. If they were healthy, I kind of do think that they would. Because here's the thing.
Healthy with Jonathan Allen, or because I think he
with the offensive line.
Okay, healthy.
Because here's the thing.
Just the line.
If you watch that Cowboy game, Sean Lee is still limping on the field.
Yeah, he was.
And he needs time. He needs time off. We all know that. If Kirk Cousins could exploit that, which that's a big if because I can't seem to figure out why Terrell Pryor can't be the big guy that goes over the middle. I've yet to figure this out. Doxson is being more effective than Pryor is.
Okay, so just on your expert opinion, who should be starting?
At that position right there?
Yes.
Man, I would actually do a hybrid. I would take the statement that you talked about. You almost play Jalen Smith on first and second down and let Sean Lee do more in coverage than attacking and getting hit as hard as he does when he attacks that line.
Well, what I've seen from Washington, and I thought it was crazy to hear it, but now that we're sitting up here talking about it, I can see it. The coach came out and said, and you've never heard this about a wide receiver, I think we're going to go with the hot hand at that position.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Had you ever heard that before?
Nope.
The wide receiver, we're going with the hot hand? Uh-huh. How do you get a hot hand?
I know. It's what we talk about with Terrence Williams. It's the fact that you just don't catch the ball.
Right.
You don't catch it. And I can't use you if you don't catch the ball. Your job is to receive the ball, and you can't physically do that.
Do you just write his position receiver on there, and then you show him when you take the R off the end of it? This is your job.
Yes. Receive.
This is your job.
Yeah.
You're not currently doing your job, Terrence Williams.
You know, it's killing me to watch Cousins, who I think is playing really good football.
He is. And one thing that I've noticed about Cousins that I really do appreciate about his game, and hopefully you're appreciating it too because this is the last year you'll have it.
Right.
And so one thing that I do appreciate about his game is that he plays well without a number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's very Drew Brees-like in that regard because he uses tight ends, backup tight ends, throws to the back.
The resurgence of Vernon Davis is insane.
I guess he's just finally healthy. Was he?
I think that's a big part of it.
Was he
Vernon
Davis for some years?
Yes, but Vernon Davis is downfield.
Yes.
He's had 30-yard plays in the past 3 games.
Yes.
You get that from your tight end. It's kind of like when you saw Jason Witten with that one-handed catch in the end zone. You haven't seen that in a long time.
I was shocked.
Oh, that Jason Witten catch.
That Jason Witten throw, too, let's be honest.
That was an absolute perfect throw. And he's shredding a guy that they should have called pass interference on. But he goes up one-handed, brings it in. That's the best play for Dallas this year.
I'm weighing plays here.
Okay.
So far.
Because the pass was perfect. Dak was not rushed. The line did perfect. The crossing route of Beasley underneath.
And then the timing of it, because that game was still in doubt at that moment.
Right, at that moment. But, dude, no, that's the best play so far for the Dallas Cowboys this year.
I might be able to go with you there.
So, but this weekend, even though it's in Washington and that will help a little, neither Dallas nor Washington has ever really experienced a home field advantage in their new stadiums.
Right.
They haven't. You know, when you used to play at RFK, used to play at Texas Stadium, there was a difference there. Mm-hmm. Of course, at Texas Stadium, it was because you played on that quarter-inch sheet of carpet and everybody else tore their ACLs and y'all just waited for that to happen. That's cheating, but that's fine.
Sounds like a guy who just
whatever. I'm just right.
Doesn't believe in the star whatsoever.
No, I think the Cowboys win 27-14 this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the line. What if the line is 100% there?
Then I think Washington has a chance. But in all reality, here's my problem. If you look at how Washington starts every game, they score touchdowns on their first possession every week. They get a lead. And for some reason, their ability to score in the red zone, score touchdowns after that, diminishes almost completely. On their first drive, they're money. They come out just knocking you in the jaw. But after that, they get inside the 20, and it's field goal. You know it's a field goal. You cannot win games when your kicker makes 4 field goals a game. You can't.
Well, I do expect us to win this week. I actually expect us to win by at least 10 this week. And that's primarily because I hate to say this, but it's definitely truth. Coming into the season, I thought our defensive line was going to be a serious trouble area for us.
Oh, my God.
And what's happened is that's become a position of strength that I never saw coming. David Irving and DeMarcus Lawrence are monsters.
Did you know that you're paying your monster pass rushers $1.48 or it's $1.58 million this year total?
Really? DeMarcus Lawrence?
DeMarcus Lawrence gets 1.1. David Irving is getting $480,000 this year.
Well, DeMarcus Lawrence is about to break the
Well, I was
bank
about to say,
year.
and next year, David Irving is a restricted free agent.
Oh, really?
So you've got him for another year at that price.
Wow.
So, now granted, here's the tough part. Because, I'll ask you. In today's NFL, if you have David Irving, let's say next year he plays even better.
Mm-hmm.
You have the opportunity to re-sign David Irving, but you're going to have to pay him $1.6 million a week versus that, $500,000 for the whole year.
Right.
So you got to do that, but you also got to figure out a way to pay Dak Prescott.
Well, here's the deal. What I'm going to do is this year to extend Dak? Do we extend him this year or next year?
Next year.
Next year. So I'm extending Dak next year because you always got to pay your quarterback.
Of course.
You can't. Your team goes nowhere unless you pay who we're going to turn it over to.
Right.
And we just let.
So you get rid of Zeke then, huh?
Zeke's making his money. Zeke's not going to get a significant raise because he's already
he's a
one of the
first
top
round
five.
pick, right.
Yeah, he's already one of the top 5 paid running backs in the league. You franchise DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
You got to franchise him. And now, if you're able to get him at a hometown discount because you can hold that franchise tag over him, I'm okay with that. What worries me about the Cowboys is now we're talking 2 years down the road. Guess which one of the big 3 I can see them letting go?
Dez Bryant.
You
can let Dez Bryant go right now.
I can see Dez Bryant being dropped in 2 years because that'd be year 4 on a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dez may not be here unless he's willing to renegotiate at a much cheaper price.
And if he's not already mentally at that position, Dez had a good game against San Fran, but Dez hasn't given you a great game. He's had a couple good catches. And the one he drug, what was that, in week 2? When he
dropped. The one, are you talking about the one?
No.
Oh, you mean the against the Rams?
Yeah, he drug, yes.
Yeah,
so, but Dez, again, we've talked about this. Dez is not an elite receiver.
And I'm just about ready to go there with you. I want to see how the year plays out because he still is so physical and he's still able to do a couple of things that no one else can do outside of Julio Jones. What's starting to concern me about Dez is the fact that when he goes against top-tier cornerbacks, he doesn't put up numbers.
He's invisible.
I need my $70 million receiver when he goes against the Patrick Petersons of the world, the Josh Normans of the world.
He's got Josh Norman this weekend.
He's got to put up numbers. That's what separates the good receivers from the all-pro receiver.
Right.
Because if you do it against Peterson, if you do it against
who's the other one? Janoris Jenkins.
If you do it against Janoris Jenkins, now you're talking about someone who I can depend on each and every week.
Right.
That's what the Julio Jones of the world do. Now, Julio's never healthy, so
and that's the thing.
That's the thing about him. But
your Jordy Nelsons do that.
Jordy Nelson.
Mike Evans does that.
They throw the ball to Mike Evans 20 times a game.
Okay.
He only has to catch like 7.
Okay. ODB
does do it. He's elite like that.
Yeah.
Because he's going to break free. It doesn't matter if he has 3 catches. One of them went for 70 yards and a touch.
Right.
So ODB is a special athlete. We'll see how he works with when he comes back from the injury. But he definitely is a special talent. I don't think that we're seeing that out of Dez right now. And I will tell you, I used to believe you put him against the better corners in the league, you throw that ball up to him, he's catching it. Now I don't know if the transition has been because Tony Romo's no longer throwing him the ball.
Possibly, yeah.
And Tony Romo gave him the opportunity at some of those 50-50 balls that I think Dak looks off.
Yeah.
But then too, Dez has dropped a few passes this year that your all-pro receiver has to make.
Right.
My $70 million guy has to make these plays.
But I think you're right. Any good Cowboy fan has to be looking at the next 2 years and going, this window of opportunity, I don't want to necessarily say it's closing because Dak, Zeke, if DeMarcus Lawrence is becoming what he seems to be becoming and David Irving does as well, dude, you've now built a foundation. Your biggest struggle at that point is, how do I keep my line?
Well, I think one of the things they did was they went ahead and paid everybody early. Now, they're going to have to front-load Zach's contract this year.
Right.
Zach Martin, I'm not understanding why he wasn't signed in the offseason.
I don't either.
So we could go ahead and give him the bonus while, like you say, these other 2 guys and Dak aren't getting paid.
They're not getting anything.
So you can front-load his deal with the bonus, and then you just got to worry about doing the same thing. You can franchise DeMarcus Lawrence next year, and then you can franchise David Irving the year after that.
Right.
Now, at some point, you're going to pay Dak because you got to pay Dak. That's got to go down.
$20 million a year. You know that's going to happen.
$20 million, and he's going to be worth it. He's going to be worth it, Jimmy. I promise you, he is. But I'm not understanding not signing Zach Martin right now.
Right.
That's a little confusing to me because you're going to put yourself in salary cap hell. And Zach Martin, I'm going to be frank with you, I believe he's the best guard in football.
Dude is incredible.
Oh.
And what you don't want to get into is the situation of now I'm having to finagle numbers, and then I'm depending on other players to renegotiate that may not be willing to, and now I have to go Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Every team has about 7 players that they pay big money to.
Right, and then the rest of the team gets divvied up what's left.
Right, you got your big money players, you got your medium players, and you got guys that are just happy to be here.
Right.
And so you got 7 guys, and I'm not understanding why Zach Martin isn't being paid like he's one of those 7 now.
I don't either, because the dude's incredible.
Yes.
I mean, he's all pro.
Yes.
Speaking of line, I did want to just give a quick shout out. I know it's been talked about a lot in the media, but very sad to see Joe Thomas go down for Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The guy never missed a snap in his career.
Right.
The guy gives a hometown discount to Cleveland because he said, "You drafted me, you took a chance. I'm a Cleveland Brown."
I'm not sure that means he's just not a smart man, though, Jimmy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But no.
Because I would have took the first boat out of town. Yeah. I was like, you're in Cleveland? I mean, even LeBron James left Cleveland.
I know. But, no,
he's from Akron.
Right.
Even LeBron James left Cleveland, man.
I'm just saying.
Coming off a finals appearance.
You hate to see an injury happen to somebody like that. Because Joe Thomas is a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is.
Never missed a snap. Pro Bowl every year. All-Pro, I believe, 9 of his 10 years.
Deservedly so.
Oh
Joe Thomas is a beast.
Yeah, so
it's a shame they never got a quarterback for him to actually protect.
To actually have to protect, right?
Shame they never did.
So you're saying Deshaun Kaiser's not it?
No, I don't think Deshaun Kaiser's it. Okay.
Anyway, but I said 27-14, or what are you thinking? Like a 24-14 win for the Cowboys, or Dallas is putting up points. You think it's more like 31-21?
31-17.
31-17. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give him 17. Most I could see is 20. I'll give him 31-20. I think Cousins is very good.
God, you've lost every ounce of leverage you ever had, so he's going to be wearing that jersey next year.
Oh yes, absolutely. Thing about Cousins, though, I still have an issue because I don't think he's big in big moments.
No.
But that's the last dragon he has to slay at this point.
Right.
That's it. If he does that this year,
he makes smart decisions, man.
Yeah.
He
checks down. He makes good decisions. He doesn't throw a lot of picks.
Right.
Kirk Cousins is a $20 million quarterback that's about to get paid like a $35 million quarterback.
Exactly. And he's one of those in that upper middle level that gets to benefit from the potential.
Right.
Not what I've actually done, the potential.
Right.
And
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So,
did you see Steve Young say that he's the most, what do you call him, the most underrated, most underappreciated quarterback in football?
I didn't see that, but I can easily see. Again, every week when you see how well he's playing, you feel it. As a Redskins fan, I'm sitting here looking at it going, at what point do you keep looking back at yourself and go, we could have done this last year?
You could have got him for $20 million. You could have done this. You really could have done this 2 years ago, right?
Right.
Yeah, before the season started. And
you could have gotten him for a round. You could have done 5 years, 18
million, 20 million.
Yeah.
Maybe not 20.
No, I'm thinking 5 years at $18 million a year.
Really?
I think you
could have got him for $18 million. What you going to end up paying him? What are they paying him now? They're paying him over 18 now.
Oh yeah, no, it's 26 and a half this year with the second franchise tag.
Wow.
Yeah, if they do it again next year, it's 35.2.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. And he's not mad at all. He's
not.
Yeah, idiots.
No. Yeah.
man. Okay.
Imagine going to your boss. Look, we got to talk about this pay.
35 million. I got 30. What is it? What did they say for T.O.? He's got 15 million reasons. Yeah. Kirk Cousins has 35 million reasons.
So
what
do we got time wise here?
Okay, hold on. We got a little time. I want to run a couple of things while we're on the NFL. I'm gonna give you 4 teams. Jimmy, I want you to rank them for me. You ready?
Okay.
New England Patriots 5-2, Eagles 6-1, Kansas City 5-2, Pittsburgh 5-2.
So, I'll tell you this. I think Pittsburgh is coming together nicely. The defense is playing good enough. And I know Big Ben had that 5-interception game, and nobody came down harder on him than him.
Right.
Did you see his post-game interview? Maybe I don't have it anymore.
Right.
Maybe I don't.
Yeah, he looked a little shook.
Yeah, but all right. So KC is showing
chinks in the armor.
Yes,
Lost two in a row.
New England just lost
Dante Hightower. And when he went out that game 1, that's when Kareem Hunt just went off.
Right. So I'm probably going to go Pittsburgh, New England. Who is the other team besides Kansas City?
Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and the Eagles.
The Eagles. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go Pittsburgh, New England, Kansas City, Philadelphia. Because I think even Tom Brady with 0 defense is that good.
Well, I'll probably still take Kansas City over Pittsburgh because of the image of Kansas City just blowing them out of the water week 1. And I know they're a little different now.
Yeah.
But that secondary still doesn't look strong to me. And I think Alex Smith is your MVP this year.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well, Carson Wentz is making a case for it, though. I'll tell you that.
I just told you what's going to happen.
I know. I'm with you, man. I'm not trying to predict the future here. I'm just saying what I'm seeing so far.
Jimmy, if you didn't know, I have a crystal ball. I just never let you see it, man.
Right. Yeah, apparently you don't ever let yourself see it either, Vince, because I've been around you watching, talking about, man, how did they not cover this week? I've heard that statement from you.
Okay, but I still think right now when I look at offense and defense, I still give it to Kansas City even after the 2 losses. Then I think it is Pittsburgh. I got New England 3rd, and I think the Eagles are about to fall off a cliff. And I don't know if that's me wishing as a Cowboy fan that the Eagles fall off a cliff, but I also believe there's something to be said about health in the NFL.
Right, no doubt.
And it is a battle of attrition in the league.
Well, when you look, every year the team that wins the Super Bowl, the 2 teams that go, usually are in the top 5 of least games lost.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Right, because if you can be a starter in the NFL, you're really, really good.
Right.
And the drop-off from starter to second string doesn't seem like much to the average person, but it's significant, especially from a practice mentality, from a sheer willpower in the game. That second guy, it's the reason that I'm opening the paper today and top news in the sports section is the fact that Kellen Moore got cut.
Right.
Dude, Kellen Moore was your second string guy. Cooper Rush just played better than him. And
Cooper Rush deserved it, you guys.
No doubt. But does anybody expect to see Cooper Rush do anything?
No.
Because if you see Cooper Rush do something, your season has taken a significant downward spiral.
I always look at it like this. I tell you, when it comes to the NFL, and you can take Cleveland and the New England Patriots.
Sure.
If I'm Cleveland, let me pick 3 players from the Patriots, and I guarantee you, any 3 players I want, I can pick 3 players from the Patriots, and I guarantee you Cleveland is now better than the Patriots.
Sure.
Just give me Gronk, Tom Brady, and one of the DBs. It doesn't
matter. Yeah.
Gronk and Gronkowski and Tom Brady off of that team, put them on Cleveland. Cleveland is now a perennial playoff contender.
No doubt.
That's the margin.
I know.
Every single game, every single week, that's the margin.
Right.
It's 1 or 2 players.
And it's what just continues to drive me batty from the standpoint of Cleveland over the past 15 years has had numerous top 5 picks.
And chances to get a quarterback. You got to remember.
They had a chance to get Carson Wentz.
Goff and Wentz.
Yeah.
They could have got Goff,
but
Wentz,
no.
Dak, you name it.
They had all this.
Yeah.
They have Deshaun Kaiser, who is really good at throwing the ball to the other team.
Yeah. Everybody needs a skill.
And you've already destroyed Deshaun Kaiser's confidence. You've benched him twice now in his rookie season.
I'm shocked that Hugh Jackson didn't handle him a little better than what he's done.
What happened, Vince, that made it where if you're a rookie quarterback, when we were growing up, you were holding a clipboard for 1, maybe 2 years.
Yes.
Now it's you're starting week 1 or week 2, and if you don't produce by week 4, you got to go.
And it wasn't that long ago that was the case.
I know, and I don't understand it.
But it's so much money tied into it now. I think that's what happened. Now you have the cap, where it seems like we can go back to the way it was. But when you started talking about before the cap came into play, you had quarterbacks coming into the league, and they're eating up so much of your salary.
I get it.
You had to see them on the field.
Right.
We got to see what we got. But you're ruining guys' careers. You're David Klingering them.
No doubt.
And usually when you're picking first, it's for a very, very good reason.
Right.
Your team is bad.
You're terribly bad.
You're terribly bad. And so you get this guy that comes into a bad situation already, and most of the time you don't have a good team because your line is absolutely horrible. Because what do they tell you all the time? Games are won in the trenches. So now I've got this star quarterback that makes all this money, and he's getting killed back there. And we saw it here in Dallas firsthand. We were grateful to Jimmy Johnson for being able to build a team as fast as he did around Troy. But Troy Aikman took a beating
that first year.
His rookie season. He took a beating, and Troy, I mean, I'm a Cowboy fan. And I'm looking at the team. Don't stand there. Right. I mean, he was manning up in the pocket, throwing darts, taking crushing hits.
And they didn't have the protective.
When they didn't protect the quarterback. Troy, this is why he didn't last long in the league.
Right.
Because Troy, he retired, 33?
Yeah. Yeah, he played that 2000 season, had no business playing that.
It was done.
99, he was done.
And you take a guy like Troy, because Troy was a big guy. He's like 6'2", 220, 225.
Yeah.
Troy, in today's NFL, he probably would have played till he was 40 because he had the arm.
Exactly.
Okay? In that NFL, the beating that he took as a rookie, it was a horrendous beating, people.
Right.
It was a horrendous. Throwing the ball up to James Dixon. I mean, it was a horrendous beating. It was. If you saw that Brett Favre game against the Saints where he just got, which I think shortened his career.
Yes.
It was that every week. For Troy Aikman.
Unbelievable. No, he did.
It was you were crying. You were like, stay down, Troy. Stay down.
Yeah. Well, it's
mercy.
You know
it was Gladiator.
Yeah.
Mercy. Mercy.
They're walking out just laying a towel over him.
It was Gladiator.
Yeah.
Not Gladiator. What was Mel Gibson movie? Braveheart.
It
was It was Braveheart. Just sitting there, mercy, mercy.
Dude, when Houston became a franchise and they took David Carr, Derek's older brother, same thing.
Yeah.
That dude was sacked on average 7 times a game.
Right. Did I say David Carr a while ago? Hold on.
No, you said David Klingler, but I knew what you meant.
David Carr. That's who I was
David
talking
Carr,
about. Yeah, they ruined his career.
Yeah.
He started seeing ghosts in the pocket because even when no one was there, he just got skittish with the ball. I mean, it was ridiculous. He just started seeing ghosts.
He was like a crack addict that just...
You ever see Friday? Smokey? He was like Smokey. He's just constantly jumping backward and forward. I mean, I feel for those guys because they literally ruined their careers.
Oh, done. Yeah. So the fact that Troy ended up becoming a first ballot Hall of Famer, speaks volumes to what coaching and building a line can do.
And you could tell Jimmy actually took it and said, hey, we've got to build around this guy or he's not going to be able to last.
And that's when Larry Allen showed up. And you could not get around Larry Allen.
Right.
Larry Allen, greatest offensive lineman of all time?
Better than Munoz? I don't think it's better than Munoz.
Okay.
I think it's the best offensive guard of all time. But whenever you say the best offensive lineman, I think that has to go to a tackle.
Okay.
Because they have more responsibility and they have to
Did you know Larry Allen played tackle in his career more than he did guard?
He played it the second half of his career, but he wasn't an all-pro.
No, I know.
Yeah. He wasn't the level of tackle that Anthony Munoz was. But I think Larry Allen was the best guard of all time.
Joe Thomas would have fought for that. I truly believe that. Jonathan Ogden.
Well, Ogden, I think Thomas was probably better than Ogden.
But you're right. It's Anthony Munoz. I get it.
Yeah, it's Munoz. Munoz was the big cat. I mean, there was no getting by. Very seldom.
Munoz is no Joe Jacoby or Jeff Bostic or Russ Grimm.
No, he's not. He's
Jim Lachey.
No,
he's not any of those. Let's be very clear, America.
Yeah. Well, Munoz is for my money. He's probably the GOAT when it comes to linemen.
So, what do we got left?
Okay, another thing I wanted to run by you. I'm going to give you 3 teams that have won 3 games in a row.
Okay.
3 games in a row. You tell me, are any of these teams going to make the playoffs?
I'm going to tell you right now, the Dolphins, no.
Dolphins have won 3 in a row. Vikings have won 3 in a row. Saints have won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Any playoff teams?
No.
No playoff teams in that mix. If you had to pick one, would it be the Saints?
It would be.
Okay.
Yeah, not because of the 4 games in a row. It's because of Drew Brees. Right. That's the one team that has a quarterback.
Right. I agree with you.
Miami is now going in. Cutler's got broken ribs. Is he done?
Are they a worse team if Cutler is done?
I don't think so, because Matt
Moore
looked great.
I mean, I don't know what they're doing right now. Do you know what they're doing right now?
I forgot that's on tonight.
Whenever I see 3 texts, Jimmy, it makes me say, did I not push a button over there?
Baltimore's up 20-0 in the third. Baltimore.
So 3 wins, and then we lose to Baltimore, who probably has one of the top 3 worst offenses. Well, the bottom 3, I guess we'll say the bottom 3 offenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
But they've got a good young back. His name's Alex Collins.
Yes.
Have you ever seen
this
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be in the game more. They're right now. They're still trying to funnel it to Buck. What is it? Buck Williams, Buck Johnson. Can't remember, but Buck Allen. Allen.
It's Buck Allen. Yep.
Yeah, they're still trying to float the ball out to Buck Allen. When you've got a talented runner in Alex Collins.
Collins got 100 yards in the game already.
See, Jimmy, I watched this.
I know.
I watched this, man.
But the problem is, they got, as we were just talking about, they got so much money tied up in Flacco.
Can't field the team around
you. You cannot.
Well, they've also made some bad decisions in Baltimore as well.
But
they got a lot tied up in Suggs too.
Yeah. But Flacco won a Super Bowl.
You got to pay to play.
You got to pay him.
But some teams, they pay the quarterback and they still produce.
I know.
But your quarterback has to be good enough to overcome the deficiencies like Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers overcomes the deficiencies around him. Russell Wilson, even though Seattle paid him money, the majority of their money is spent on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
I think I heard the stat that 60% of their money is on defense, only 40% is on offense.
And it's definitely not, and it's mostly him because it ain't that offensive line. That line is terrible.
It's definitely not the running backs,
right?
And it's definitely not the wide receivers. They even let Golden Tate go.
I know.
So all of their money goes on the defense. So we're winning games with defense,
right?
In Seattle, just like in Dallas, all of our money is going to go on the offense because we're winning games with offense here. Problem is, like you just pointed out, we've got some defensive guys that have proven they deserve to be paid. It's going to be a balancing act,
right?
Which means we're going to have to take some of that offensive money and put it over here,
right?
And the offensive money that we're going to see go away is going to be Dez Bryant,
right? So
completely agree.
I do, and the other benefit you're going to have though is from a Cowboys standpoint, Witten's going to retire. You're not going to have to pay him anymore,
right? I don't know if he's retiring this year or next year or when, but eventually he will. Now,
Witten's biggest problem is other than that one pass, wherever he catches the ball,
he goes right now.
That's
right
where
there.
He's tackled.
That's where
there is no
absolutely.
Breaking away, and that's fine. He's still moving the chains,
and he's still the most reliable Cowboy on the roster when it comes to catching the ball.
Yeah.
Screw you, Terrence Williams.
Right.
That was a shot.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, last and final thing I did want to touch base with.
Okay.
We didn't get into a lot of NBA talk, but Dennis Smith Jr. has made an appearance. He's appeared in a few games.
Right.
What's your first impressions?
Excited about some things. The athleticism is off the charts. Mm-hmm. What we've just been talking about with the NFL, if this cat can't get healthy, dude, I'm genuinely concerned. He has missed 2 of the first 5 games of the season. You
know what, Jimmy? I think this guy has athleticism. I think he's got a great feel for the game. And I know you're going to think this is very this is a lot of hyperbole when I say this, but he reminds me of Dwayne Wade.
Oh,
with his explosiveness.
That's what I was going to say.
With his medium range, he's got a pretty decent medium range jump shot, and occasionally can even go a bit behind the arc. But I'm right there with you, man.
Dude.
You tell me after his first game.
We got to sit you for 2.
Yes. And I don't think he's playing tonight.
No, he was.
Was he playing tonight?
He was. He was 1 for his first 6.
Okay. But, yeah, that knee, when Carlisle said, I heard him on the radio talking about there was some swelling in the knee.
Right.
And this is the knee that he had the ACL injury on. That tells me if you're 20, what is he, 19?
19.
And you've got knee problems, that's a scary situation.
4-14 from the field today.
It's okay. He's going to have some up and down.
I get it, but here's my biggest concern.
Mm-hmm.
Our greatest player of all time is shooting 33% from the field to start the season. And he is yet to have a game where he shot over 40%.
We're going to get what we saw out of Kobe? Is it here?
There is a reason Tim Duncan walked away when he did.
Yeah.
And my heart has been broken every game watching this team because that is not the Dirk Nowitzki I know and love.
I was watching some last night, and what I was saying to myself, with what the Mavericks have, if Dirk Nowitzki was 27 years old,
oh my gosh,
his team would actually be competing for one of the number one spots in the West.
Yeah.
The problem is Dirk Nowitzki is not 27 years old. He's
39.
39. And at 39, he's definitely lost a step. I mean, he was already behind a step on defense.
Yes.
And so losing a step, it's going to get to the point, and I hate to say it, that Carlisle's not going to be able to put him out there because of the defensive deficiencies. And it's going to get to a point where his offense can't compensate for him because he can no longer get to his spots on the floor that he wants to get his shot off. It was bound to happen. It's still sad to see it happen. It's like having that old dog that you absolutely love.
You know.
And you go out and you throw the Frisbee with him, and then just one day he's just not able to go out there and catch that Frisbee anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what we got with Dirk, man. I think I'm not going to write it off just yet because he's still the type player. He still can be a stop-and-pop player.
Sure.
He still can play the high post. And his wits should allow him – because it's not like his game was built on athleticism.
No, it never was. No.
Yeah. So just being a smart player, able to get – he's still got to be able to get to his spot, though.
And that's the problem is I think he's stopping and popping from 3 feet further back now. And nobody doubts his shooting ability.
Right.
But anything as you get older from an athletic standpoint deteriorates. And, man, it's early in the season. I get this. But most players don't get healthier as the season goes on. So those two things, Dennis Smith Jr., for all the athleticism that's there, if this knee is going to be the issue that it is, I'll say it right now, shut him down.
What's up with all these players coming into the league with knee issues?
Already. Dude.
Because, I mean, if you think about Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Nerlens Noel,
who's doing nothing, by the way.
Dennis Smith Jr.
Let's go back to the big one. Greg Oden. That cat had 4 microfracture surgeries before he came to the pros.
Seems like I don't recall. When we were young, did this many people get drafted with knee issues like this?
No, because you didn't play year-round. Vince, we didn't. Dude, what did we do? You played in high school, and you played 6 weeks of summer ball. That's it.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, we played at the park and stuff like that, but it wasn't, you weren't banging.
Right.
I'm telling you this because everybody becomes so specialized in their sports at such an early age now, and they're doing it year-round. Dude, you're growing still. You're continuing to grow until you're 22. You are not giving your body a chance to catch up to the God-given talent that you have.
AAU.
And
everything that they're doing.
They're not playing 3 and 4 years in college. They play 1.
And then they try to put on the 82. Well, they're getting hurt before they get completely out of college.
But I do. I think it's...
You think it's that 14 to 17?
I do. And I think it's playing 48 weeks out of the year from those formative growth plate years. And dude, I'm telling you this because we are not going to win 32 games this year. I don't think we win 32. And that's hard to say, Vince, because you're talking early 90s. And we all remember that and don't want to. So
I hope that's not the case.
But, Vince, I'm telling you, if he has another time where he has to sit, I, as a fan, am saying, shut him down. Let him get completely healthy.
Bring him back after the All-Star break?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And just go. And Carlisle is the type of coach that can sit him down and go, you need to understand this is my team, not yours.
And Cuban is going to do what's best for the player.
I agree.
I think that he's always been the person that does what's best for the player. So I hope that's the case here, too. I hate to see it, man. We're at 10 o'clock. I know we're ending on a down note. Jimmy, give me something to cheer me up, man.
Well, I'm at about a 65% believing that Cuban's going to run for president.
Definitely vote for him?
In a heartbeat.
I think I would, too.
He'd run as
a Republican, and I would vote for Mark Cuban.
He has to run as one of the two, which stinks because he's an independent at heart.
Right.
Just like Bernie Sanders. He's an independent at heart, but he runs as a Democrat. But I would say this. Running the government is like running a business, and Trump was handed his. Cuban built his from a dorm room. So, and I just think Cuban takes a practical and a pragmatic approach.
I think so too. I think he's a smart guy.
I do, and
I think he's a smart guy.
You know, from what he says, the only real thing that he has to figure out is how it's going to affect his family, and that's a smart man. So, but with that, I will say this: the Stars are tied 3-3 right now. If you're not watching hockey, you need to get in on this Dallas Stars team.
Is it good?
Dude, it's good to see Ken Hitchcock hockey back.
Okay.
So, Connor McDavid, we're playing Edmonton tonight.
I'm going to start paying attention because I've been out of hockey. I haven't really paid attention probably since Hitch left, to be frank with you.
I know, but they've got the firepower.
Okay.
So we'll have to hit up a game.
We'll have to do that. We got to get a Mavs game in too.
Definitely.
Even if we're losing.
That ain't going to be a problem getting tickets to that.
I want to see Dennis Smith. I want to say
I do too. I do too.
During his rookie season.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get to see it. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us tonight. This is Sports Rehab with Jimi and V, High Vibe Media and Marketing Group. This week on Friday evening, we're also having the happy hour at Brick House from 6 to 8. You coming? You getting out?
I'm doing my best. I mean, just work. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we guys will see you all there. I will be there. Hopefully Jimmy will be there too. We'll have a good time, just like we did tonight. Join us again. We're going to try to do it again next week.
Yep.
We're going to have some sports rehab talk, hopefully celebrating the Cowboys of Dallas destroying the Redskins of Washington. See you next week. Bye-bye.
You said you want to end on a high note.
It doesn't get much higher than that, Jimmy.
I'm writing my